Hi, this is Roger Balzer. Welcome to our 2-Minute Tuesday for May 14th of 2019. Our title for this week is Trade War Frenzy. Since hitting new all-time highs about 2 weeks ago, the Standard & Poor's 500 has fallen close to 5% as trade negotiations with China have hit a snag. Last week, the U.S. announced new tariffs on Chinese imports, and yesterday, China announced new tariffs on some U.S. goods. We are having a widening trade war right now. Don't get me wrong, I want free trade. I understand the dangers of trade wars and tariffs. They're just taxes that are passed on to the consumers. Even if the entire world went to zero tariffs, we would almost certainly still run trade deficits, even with China. But today, the trade deficit with China is partly due to the fact that China has higher tariffs on imports than the U.S. does. Working to eliminate these tariffs is worthwhile. In 1980, China was an impoverished nation. Then it began adopting tools of capitalism, property rights, markets, free prices, and wages. Chinese businesses started to import the West's technology and growth accelerated. Initially, China didn't have to worry about intellectual property. When you replace oxen with a tractor, all you have to do is buy the tractor. You're not reinventing the internal combustion engine. But China has now picked and benefited from the lowest hanging fruit. So China decided to steal the R&D of firms located abroad. Some estimates of this theft run into hundreds of billions of dollars. That's why normal free markets and free trade principles don't apply conveniently to China. Remember President Reagan's old story supporting free trade? Reagan said, "We're in the same boat with our trading partners. If one partner shoots a hole in the boat, does it make sense for the other one to shoot a hole in the boat?" The obvious answer is that it doesn't, and so our own protectionism can hurt us. But China just hasn't shot a hole in the boat. They become pirates. If Vito Corleone and his cronies robbed your house, would free market principles require you to trade with them to buy those items back? I wouldn't think so. It's true tariffs increases will not help the U.S. economy, but the 100 billion of tariffs spread over 14 trillion of consumer spending is not a recession-inducing drag. It's true some businesses, like the farmers, especially the soybean farmers, are going to be hurt, but the status quo means accepting hundreds of billions in theft from companies that are at the leading edge of future growth. Either way, if tariffs nick our economy, China will get hammered. Last year, we exported 180 billion in goods and services to China. It's about 0.9% of our GDP. Meanwhile, China exported 559 billion to the US, which is close to 4.5% of their economy. We have enormous economic leverage. They simply can't match us. An extended U.S. trade battle means U.S. companies will shift supply chains out of China and toward places like Singapore, Vietnam, or Mexico, or even made in the USA. If that happens, the Chinese economy is going to be hurt for decades. Anyone can invent a scenario where some sort of Smoot-Hawley-like global trade war happens. Realistically, though, that appears very unlikely. We're not the only advanced country China's piracy has victimized. China may realize it's more isolated than it thought. In the end, China wants and needs to trade with the West. Again, China wants and needs to trade with the West, not North Korea, Russia, and Venezuela. China needs us. And all these trade war hysterics, they're just not warranted. So the moral of the story is, stay the course and look to add on weakness.